Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Singhania. Sorry we're late today. We had some very interesting sessions earlier in the day, and it just went on, and everybody wanted to ask more questions. But nevertheless, we are here. I want to start with quickly. Our topic today is Pandemic Learnings 101. Fitness isn't a luxury. It's an absolute necessity. I think all of us agree, because that's why we are here today. To you, my first question, ma'am, tell me, in your professional opinion, prior to the pandemic, what percentage of the population would you say engaged in formal exercise? And now, do you think there's more awareness than ever?
Well, thank you for having me. And this has been a fantastic day. Yes, I've been enjoying it off the side. What a leading question that is. So I have to say that when I first started, it was a very uphill task. You had to develop a market which was not there, which did not believe in exercise. It was all about, if I look slim, if I look good, that's it. I don't need to exercise. I don't need to do anything more. However, very sharply, the pandemic has taught everyone that exercise is not a luxury anymore. It is an absolute bare necessity. Your life very much depends upon it. If for the very first time, people have now had a very deep understanding that fitness is going to be critical to their life. It is, what we do is essentially about cardiorespiratory fitness. So it is about the cardiac system. It is about the respiratory system. It is about immunity and not gaining weight and not having, therefore, any added on comorbidities which are going to do you in. So it has been a sea change, I have to say. And there have been a lot of changes necessarily, because you're stay at home, you're in lockdown. So typically it's at home, stay at home fitness. And we've essentially gone online for all of that as well. Very bespoke one-on-one fitness, and even our group classes, etc., live. And it's substituted. Everything is substituted. So whatever you have in the house becomes a piece of equipment. You don't have an exercise band of any sorts. You'll use a dupatta or a shawl tied into a knot. You don't have dumbbells or kettlebells. You will use bottles of water. You use your own body weight. For calisthenics, calonetics, it's anti-aging work, it's mat Pilates, it's yoga. Every single piece of furniture you have in your house, whether it's a desk, a chair, a sofa, a bed, anything, actually subs in as a piece of gym equipment. So one gets on with it.
Right. I think during this pandemic, people tried, they actually brought this to the fore that, it's not about a swanky gym, it's about intent, end of the day. You can do your fitness wherever you are, but how do you build that strong intent? Now we are in a phase, we are doubly vaccinated and we're getting back to that same kind of life. How can people sustain that inspiration, that kind of tempo they had during the pandemic? What are the best things, according to you, that they should follow to ensure it?
I think many of us have lost so many people during the pandemic, directly and indirectly, and that is the biggest motivation. The reality of the situation is the biggest motivation. And while I totally agree, gyms are not necessary in that pure sense at all, it is very boring having to put one foot after the other endlessly, mindlessly. How long are you going to do it if you're heading out there for a walk? So you do need other ways of managing things, and you do need to give yourself a break in terms of cross-training to see that regular result that you constantly want as well. The biggest motivator, according to me, is at what level do you want to live your life? What is the level of self-respect you have just for yourself? And it's really about self-esteem, isn't it? You want to live your life at a very high standard. You want to live it kind of being dragged all over the place. It's a very simple choice we all have to make. And hey, every single situation and event ends up being a small motivator, which is really important. For example, if I'm addressing you today, I better look the part. it could have been my motivator of the last 2 days to get myself in order, get my workout. And every small, way I had that passion is a huge motivator, not just the bigger things in life.
Right. So, in your terminology, bespoke fitness is, very important. Why can't, if I ask you this question, why can't one size fit all approach work?
Right. Really important question. So every single human being, we are 7 billion people on this planet. We all look different. We all think different. We all are different. And that difference has got to be celebrated, has got to be acknowledged, or we are forever going to be running up into one another. We are different in terms of our health, our age, our fitness levels, our likes, our dislikes even. And that's really important, because if I hate what I'm doing, I'm never going to do it on a consistent basis. Our own goals and our own quirks. We all know our own body type better than anybody else. So it really has to be very, very bespoke. What you're going through, even day by day. Today, I show up for my exercise session. I'm in a bad mood. I've got a migraine, whatever it might be. A lot of things need to be taken into account for. I may be short of time, genuinely, however much I try. In that case, smarter fitness is much more applicable. I do need to get into more total body conditioning sort of exercises, more compound sort of exercises for that time. There may be a variety of things have to be counted in to give a person precisely what they need. And fitness is also about rehab. It is, according to me, hugely about rehab. It is no good being fit if your health if you're kind of broken on the inside on a variety of levels. So that's very narrow in terms of a view. Mental, emotional, psychological, physical fitness, it all goes together. I cannot separate your physicality from every other aspect of your fitness. So that's why bespoke fitness, according to me, is so critically important.
Two last questions, quick questions. We are perennially living in a world where we jump from one app to another. We are so distracted. One is, how do you establish a routine in this kind of a setup that we have?
Okay, that's a great question. One, we all do tend to shut down our phones from time to time, saying this is just me time, like when I'm sleeping, for example, or I'm taking a massage, for example. And if not, if for any reason you don't want to or can't do that, hey, make it part of your routine. So I may be on my app watching, listening to a podcast, or watching a YouTube documentary, or watching a Netflix movie. Great.
Right. Final question. What keeps you inspired? You never have a day. I mean, you follow it so strictly, but how do you maintain that motivation all through? What is the secret to that?
Well, my secret has been that I started off life I was born nearly still dead. I had the umbilical tube of my mother's, of course, around my throat very many times. I was not breathing. I was puny. I was tiny. I was petite. I was weak. And that many of the greats actually have started off that way and introduced some fabulous techniques to the world because of their own disabilities or weaknesses, like Pilates, like gyrotonics, for instance. And that is a great motivator to remind you that, hey, don't take anything for granted. You want to live a human life out here in a certain degree of wellness and a certain quality. It requires a certain maintenance.
Thank you so much, Ms. Singhania, for your time. Lovely talking to you. Great to have you virtually with us. I wish you could be here, but hopefully next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.